Hello. This one is a story from a while ago, once again. It's probably give or take 15, 17 years now. This was the time when I had bought my first ever car. Now, back then I didn't have a whole lot of money to put into a car, so I had bought a pre-owned one, and it was a really, really old car. I mean, it was a lemon. Uh, she served us well, but it was a really, really old car. Now, we bought the car from or through a particular garage in the city of Mumbai, and they did it up for us, fixed a lot of things, changed whatever needed to be changed in the car, and made it most usable. I was pretty happy with it. My family was too, and we were driving down from Mumbai to Pune, which is about 100-mile or 140 kilometer drive, give or take. And I was driving away merrily with my wife and my father in the car, and we were enjoying the ride. And halfway through the ride, the car broke down. Surprise, surprise. Now, I did a pretty decent job, given that I was a new driver. I did a pretty decent job at pulling over in time, and we were parked nicely on the shoulder on the highway. And I called the owner of the garage from or through whom we bought the car, and he was obviously a little surprised and apologetic, but he was very nice, and he offered to send over his mechanics right away. Now, it was about a 2-hour drive for me, so well, even at the quickest it would have taken them an hour and a half, but we decided to take that chance because we didn't know anyone where we were at that point. So we waited. We enjoyed the weather. Luckily, it was very nice weather, and the mechanics arrived, and surprisingly they almost knew what the problem would likely be, and they'd carried the right parts, and they fixed the car in a matter of minutes. All that went pretty well, and we were about to head on our way to Pune for myself, and the mechanics would head back in their car. But before we would do that, we decided to stop by for a cup of tea. Now, in India, we have a lot of these small tea stalls, which are peppered all over the place. So you'd have these small tea stalls who serve what is called cutting chai, so a very small quantity of tea. It's something that you just have to experience to know, how it feels or how it tastes. Anyway, so we did stop at one of these tea stalls, and we got ourselves a cup of tea each, a cutting chai. Now, earlier these used to be served in small glass cups, small cups made of glass. But over time, people have moved to using disposable cups. So they served us these in paper cups. And we had our chai, and we were about to get into our respective cars and move away. And out of habit, I collected the cups from my wife and my father, and I was about to dispose them of in a small garbage bag that I had in the car. And the mechanics, they just trashed those, like dropped those on the side of the road, like right next to the stall. So basically on the ground. Now, this is unfortunately a thing that is not very uncommon for people to trash, unknowingly, and it's not something that they do knowingly, but it's just how a lot of things work around here. I didn't say anything, but I just went over and picked up those 2 cups that the mechanics had trashed, and they were in shock as to why I was doing that. They were like, "Whoa, what's wrong? Why are you doing that?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it. I have got a trash bag in the car, and I'll trash it once I'm back home." And I could see that they were very embarrassed. They didn't say much, but they were very embarrassed, and we didn't really make a big deal out of it, and we moved on. I got back into the car, they got back into theirs, and we went back home. A few months later, I was in Mumbai again, and I visited the garage for some work for the car. That car had a bunch of things that needed to be done over the years. But anyway, so I visited the garage, and I again, whilst the work was going on, I met those same mechanics. Lovely people they are, and they offered me some chai. And once again, the chai came in disposable cups. We had our chai, we were having a chat, and soon as we were done, I held up my empty cup and paused for a second, looking around for a waste bin. And all of a sudden, one of the mechanics, he just looked at me, and his eyes just went wide open. He's like, "Wait up, give that to me." I was like, "Okay, hang on, I will." But he's like, "You've got to see what I'm going to show you here, or what I've got to show you here." And I was like, "Okay, go ahead." And he showed me a little trash bin that they put right next to the service bay. Now, this is not something that used to exist a few months prior to that. So apparently, the incident that had occurred on the highway had made these guys put a little trash bin next to their service bay, and all their waste, including these cups, had started going into that. So he proudly showed off that waste bin to me, and he actually, like I said, took my paper cup away and trashed it himself. Now, that was such a beautiful experience. I mean, even if it's a trash bin that's been put out there in my memory in some way, I think I'll take that. So since that day, and this has been, like I said, it's been a while. I do visit those guys once in a while. It's not very often, but whenever I do go there, and we have a chat, we never fail to one way or the other mention the trash bins around that place. So yeah, that's how that story went. All right, that was an experience that I thought I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you for listening in. Have a good day, everyone.